Hello, I am David Stützel and I watched this video, I think from Bernd Michael Sommer, about overtone singing over a chord progression, and I had a few of my ideas that I wanted to add to that. So so this was a longer chord progression with more chords, but the thing I want to say is actually something more abstract. You may have noticed or not that I actually sang a few notes that didn't match the chords at all, but were quite off, but it didn't matter because of the context, or it wouldn't, I think for most people it wouldn't matter, and there's a few kind of secrets. So actually, if you are interested in that, just play chords and sing and try and fiddle around, and you will find them, but maybe you find some things because you know them or understand them, and it's not always necessary or the right way to say, okay, I search for a note that fits this chord, because for example, I sang fits, this doesn't fit because it's and I have this in the chord, so this is absolutely wrong, this overtone, but in the context it sounds right, because it will be right in the end, two chords further on. So that's a strange thing. It's kind of psychological maybe, and even worse, my fundamental. Of course you can change your fundamental with the chords so that it always makes sense and matches the chords, but it is not always the better thing to do, because sometimes it sounds better when the drone you sing just stays a drone, even if the chords change and even if it kind of goes against the chord. Because if you jump around with the fundamental you sing, you change all your rules and your system and everything all the time in between, and you don't really change the note of your fundamental where you want to go or when you want to change it, but you change it because you have to, and it's not always in the moment you would like to change it, and it's not always to the note you would like to change it, because you change it to match the overtones and the fundamental to the chord. And so it's kind of a not really musical and free thing, but more a technical thing often, most of the time. And so sometimes it sounds better if it stays the same. Sometimes it actually sounds best if there are not even chord changes, or just one other voice or note or two and not a whole chord, but that's a different topic. So if I play a chord and I sing the fundamental of that chord, of course it works, especially major. And then I put in sevenths didn't really change much, and subdominant is also fine, also in minor. You can just sing anything and it works. But I also went to nothing matches the fundamental I'm singing. Is da, I'm done, I'm playing da, da. Okay, you could say it's a blue note. Here I'm singing the seventh of the chord. Also wrong. But actually, they all can sound right because this, it's a major seventh. It's dominant and it pulls to the tonic, and I'm singing the fundamental of the tonic. It's wrong in this chord. But as this chord pulls to the D, and once I change here, then my D that I'm singing all the time becomes right, and so it's kind of there too early, but it sounds right. Viewing backwards once you get there, kind of, and you can actually say this for all these chords, that this is pulling to this, and this is pulling to this, and this is pulling to this, and I'm singing this note all the time, and it's very wrong, but it's where I anyway want to go. So da 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 da. Actually, but this kind of sounds okay because it's where I anyway want to go. So I put two more chords in between. On the way, but they're also pulling all the time. You know you want to go there, and so it sounds right because of that. And there's actually a few more things of that kind, like for example, I played this. Most overtone singers sing Amazing Grace, and so in a kind of soft version you all know that, but many people are not consciously thinking about it. Saying a few kind of wrong notes, but there's one thing. Actually, it goes it's the sixth in my. If I play D major, so it's B da da B A da da. We don't have that note in the overtone series here, we have it an octave higher, but what we actually use is this seventh, and if we would sing it like this, it would sound wrong. But that's what we are always doing, and it sounds okay because we know what we want to hear and we hear it. and because the seventh we use is not this seventh we have on the guitar or piano, because it's anyway tuned different, and it's a little lower, so it's in the right direction to the note it should be, and it's a nature seventh, the seventh overtone, or not the seventh overtone, but the seventh partial tone, and it sounds right because it's a right note, but it's a different interval than we are used, and so it's kind of a little free to use it this or that way. But once you know it, you might hear most people still don't hear that it's not da-da, but almost it's not the note that you hear it to be, but it's actually a different note, and this can go much further. I've played this Turkish song with a few bands, and I sometimes sang the melody with the overtone on a fundamental drone, and it's actually totally wrong scale, and no one of few trained musicians ever noticed that. Only another overtone singer, but only when she tried to sing it herself and noticed that it doesn't work and wondered how I did it, but not by listening. And the song is actually have this Turkish scale, but I just play minor. But still, this is not singable on the fundamental because there's no minor third. Yes, I could sing the third, and then it's I would have to change up and down, and also I don't like to sing the third. I want to sing the fundamental here and sing. But actually it gets major, which is very wrong scale. But I just play the minor chord and I sing it and I don't care. I was saying very unprecise now. But you can't, if you sing it too precise, it will be more noticeable. But if you've heard that for some time, you will perhaps you will hear that it's wrong because I've told you before, and it's very wrong actually. Everyone should hear it very strong and wrong, because I'm playing a minor chord and I'm singing the major third to it, which is worse than the other way around, which could be a blue note, but this is really just wrong. No one noticed it, not from no classical trained musician, no jazz trained musician, no from Middle East. They all thought it was fine. And that's because you hear what you want to hear. And of course I'm thinking I'm thinking of the minor third. I'm not thinking this, but you cannot play this. It's always this or some both. Also it's also wrong because the fourth is actually a quarter tone too high. We always use it as a fourth. You can use it as a fourth and be fine with it, and you can use it as a augmented fourth and be fine with it, because it's neither, and we hear what we expect to hear or want to hear. And also there's this thing that this note, if it's too high, it goes up again, so this could mean it's just pulling up or something. There could be melodies where it would fit better even. You can even play a minor chord and play a major third as a note pulling up, though this is kind of too much for the normal traditional rules of notes pulling this or that way. Normally a minor third to a major third to a minor chord will be just too much. But in some conditions I may have taken this a bit far and a bit extreme here now, but I think you will understand what I mean, and you will notice that there are many things of that kind possible. I'll just add the chords that I played, perhaps also underneath, but I played in the beginning, I played D major, then great big seventh, small seventh, a G major, you can also play this G major, a G minor, D, B major seventh, E major seventh, A major seventh, and back. I can do I could do the same thing even in minor, and I would just of course I could say, I can't sing the fundamental now because the third will be wrong. No, I'll just jump over the third. I should play. Yes, I should really leave the. I put it in sometimes, and it's almost hearable as a right note in context, even though it's wrong. I could play the same thing in C major if it's more practical. Major 7, small 7, F minor, C, A major 7th, D major 7, or could be minor, G 7, and back. For example, it's the same. Different key. Could sing the same stuff. and Beatles. Because the dominant chord always it's always bad if I sing one drone through on the fundamental of the tonic. Actually very wrong, but it can be okay in between. But it could be a different solution to use the subdominant and the subdominant of that kind of double. That's so wrong. Or you start changing the fundamental, the note that you sing. But it's not always the best sounding solution.